This episode of Inside Golf Podcast is brought to you by Inside Sports Network.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Boston Capital Twitter, Steve, on the Hold the Green podcast.
All right, we are live. Tap in, birdie.
All right, Carson Young is here.
I bet Ludwig at 28.
Let's go. I bet
You
him
did
at,
too?
I bet him at 25.
Low sevens. I think there's some guys in here we like.
Harris English at 7,300.
I love Brian Harman at 3.5% this week.
What's up, guys? It's producer Cam here. ISN is now partnered with Shorty's Golf. Shorty's Golf is designed to provide kids with the perfect introduction to the game of golf by offering high-quality clubs and equipment specifically tailored to their need. They offer custom sizes for various age groups, ensuring that the kids have clubs that are tailored to their height and strength. They feature fun, vibrant colors and lightweight stand bags that are easily adjustable. Each set features real stainless steel clubs, high-quality materials, and sturdy construction, making them long-lasting while providing a real golf experience. So go check them out, golfshorties.com. Use ISN15 at checkout for $15 off your purchase.
Welcome. The inaugural Inside Tennis Pod with Inside Sports with your boy Rishi, joined by my guy Gerard. How you doing, G-Dash?
What's going on, Rishi?
How we doing?
Doing all right. Sunny Cancun right now. Just here for a friend's wedding, so that's where I want to be.
Love to hear it. Well, this is awesome. We get to finally chop it up about tennis like we usually do, but we get to do it on a forum where we're going to get people listening and getting into the French Open, our first major coverage, second major of the year. Those joining, just a heads up, and those new, we are going to be doing a promo for the month. It's going to be Garros month, 25% off. If you happen to join, you like tennis, you like golf, that'll also take you to the US Open. Might be a good decision that way. Garros week for 25% off for the week. If you just want to dabble in our first week and then come back next week and see what we're doing. You'll have all the DFS content, all the betting content for tennis. We've had 3 outrights this year on the tennis side with Madison Keys at the Aussie Open, Emma Navarro at Merida, and Jasmine Paolini last week. So hoping to add to that total this week. And almost at 100 units. So from the betting side, you'll get all that content in the Discord as well. So Gerard, let's chop it up, dude. How's the tennis year been going? You know, what have you liked? What have you not liked? Talk to me.
Yeah, I feel like it's been a good year overall. Obviously, there was that weird moment where Sinner was out for 90 days, right? So I feel like everyone. You think everyone would take advantage of that pause and just be gung-ho, but I think for the most part, there was a little bit of volatility there where it seems like there's a different winner every week or so on the men's side, at least.
Gerard, did we lose you in Mexico?
Can you not hear me?
No, I got you. I got you back.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, no, it's been crazy without Sinner for a couple months, and now like having him back in and having him back be back to full force. Was a little bit surprising to be at that level, but it kind of leads up to this final again. Maybe we'll get another Carlos Sinner finale.
It's possible. I know. I feel like all eyes are on him right now. Obviously, Carlos is playing well, so excited to see him healthy and up there. It's wild how young these guys are. Like 23 and 22 for Carlos, and it's just like he's about to go for his 5th Grand Slam. It's kind of amazing, but I think he has some good competition this time. I mean, there's a lot of players that are up and coming, the Drapers of the world. I'm sure you got your squad built out.
Yeah, no, 100%. And this is what I was talking about. And we did a weekly write-up for ISN, and I was saying what makes it interesting, both on the men's and women's side, is just parity. It's like on the men's side, like not the big 3 of Nadal, Djokovic, and Federer. Like you do have this big 2, but they're beatable. Like the gap between them versus what the gap was with the big 3 is much less. So you can get these like longer numbers on people, and there can be upsets. And we'll get into some of those folks that we think that can be these dark horses. And then on the women's side, like Iga won the French Open the last 3 years, and she is nowhere near form, losing like in a number of tournaments in the first or second round. Sabalenka obviously is unbelievable, but she's not necessarily like a clay court expert. So again, you kind of have that parity as well.
Right. Exactly. No, it's crazy. I was looking at a stat, I think, for Iga, and it was like she hasn't reached a tournament final in like 49 weeks or something like that.
Oh
like,
my gosh.
That's just
for her, that's crazy. 49 weeks. That's kind of wild.
A very long time. Obviously, she's dropped from number 1 to 5. Yeah. I mean, she this, I feel like. But again, same with the men's side. I mean, there's a lot of talent there. Like, I mean, I obviously big fan of Coco. I feel like she's always in these tournaments pretty late into the second week, which is good to see. But, you know, there are other players that are playing well. Your girl Madison Keys, obviously coming off a Slam victory. So,
it's pretty open. It's pretty open. And how about Roland Garros, French Open? Where does it stack up for you on the slams? You know, what do you think about it?
Yeah, you know, I think it's not my favorite slam per se. I think I'm probably more of like a Wimbledon guy, just personally. But I like the clay. It's fun to play on. You know, when I do play on it here in the U.S. But I think in terms of prestige, you know, maybe it's not up there with the other ones, but you know, they've had some really, really good matches I've been able to watch. I think part of it has to do with, you know, how they broadcast it too. Like, you know, ESPN, they cover every single court like they do for like US Open and Wimbledon and such, but it is fun to watch. And, you know, obviously 5-hour time difference from the East Coast isn't too crazy.
We're back on the very early morning grind, but yeah, no, I agree with you. Coverage is a big part of it. Yeah. Like with US Open, Wimbledon, we can get like all of the matches, like ESPN Plus. Like this is going to be a little bit hit or miss. I think you can get most of it, a lot of it on like the Roland Garros website, but I hear you. And then, you know, clay, a little bit slower of a game. I think it lends itself to a little bit more upsets because, you know, holding on serve and clay can be a little bit more challenging. It's not as much pop. But yeah, I'm excited to get into it. So, you know, what we're going to do is go through the men's side and then go through the women's side, kind of go through our favorite plays out of the quarter, how we see it shaking out. And so, Gerard, starting at like the top quarter, you got Sinner, you have Draper, you have Fils, Fige, Rublev, who's just coming off a win, might take it here in, I guess it was Geneva, Hamburg. And then you have Mensik as well, Fonseca. What do we think in this draw? Is it just going to be chalk Sinner?
I mean, it's crazy. This top half of the draw is absolutely stacked. I mean, like it's like all of the big names that we love to see and love to hear. I mean, obviously Sinner has to be the favorite coming out of that quarter. I mean, Draper is looking really, really solid. He's playing really well. I like seeing the guy Minchik versus Muller in that first round. Like that's kind of an interesting matchup. Like Muller's actually playing super well. Minchik obviously hot off of this master win that he had in Miami that we got to see, which was pretty fun. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of competitors in this section here. I think Sinner, Draper. I mean, that's a safe bet, I think, for the quarterfinals. But I don't know. I like seeing like Fonseca down there lurking. I mean, he's a beast too.
100%. No, I mean, I think that this is unfortunately going to get up pretty chalky. I mean, you have the Demon, who's also kind of floating around there. And when you say like a best of 5 matchup, it's like he can outwork out anybody. Fige's had a very good year. Obviously, like he's trending. I don't know if he can beat like a Sinner yet, but again, best of 5. You never know. Favorite matchup, I think if I were to look in this quarter, Hurkacz Fonseca round 1 is insane. Hurkacz is playing really. He just beat Fritz in straight sets as an underdog today. I mean, Fritz has some issues not playing on top of his game. But Hurkacz has been playing well 2 tournaments in a row. Gets Fonseca first round. What about you? What matchups do you like early?
Yeah, you know, I like that one's like a first meeting too. I mean, same with you know Muller and Minchik. I mean, that's the first time they're going up against each other here. Both young guys. You know, I think Minchik probably has a little bit of an edge there, just having made some finals this year and playing really well, has some momentum. But that'll be a good one to watch and see. You know, I think it's interesting that looking at some of the French players in the draw, like a Feast, for example.
Yeah.
Love his game. He's awesome. I just wonder if like these French players, they get so nervous in Roland Garros. It's just like,
that's a good point.
they go out there and all of a sudden they can't remember how to play tennis. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, I like him going up against Yari. I mean, that's also, he's a contender too. He's been around for a while. Really good
clay
really
quarter
good player. Yeah. He just loves that surface. So that's one to watch too.
Yeah, 100%. And it's funny you bring up Fige, and there's one of our subs who has a friend who did like a $15 parlay. It was actually like $14.22. A bunch of like random things, not tennis, baseball, basketball. And the last play is Fige to win Roland Garros. And if he wins, it's 14 to win like 700,000 or something crazy.
What?
So I was like, you got to figure out how to hedge out of this. I don't know if he's going to make that run, but
yeah,
it's
fun
crazy.
to watch. Yeah.
And no, it's a good thing to bring up too. Like as to the home court, I never really think about it too much because it's not like in Rome. Like in Rome, like fans are so loud. In Paris, they'll root for you, but it feel like they're a little bit more chill. So you notice it a little bit less. Josh was asking, a little bit, and this is a little bit outside of this quarter. Who's your favorite American that you think can make a run, Gerard?
That's a good question. What's interesting is that I feel like most of the Americans are on the bottom half of the draw. And like that section.
It's a winnable side.
Yeah, it's pretty wide open, I mean, obviously, yes, Carlos is down there, so it's not like necessarily wide open per se, but it is less stacked in the top half. And, you have to look at a Tommy Paul, right? I mean, like he just plays, he's playing so well. He's a dog. Like, I mean, obviously Fritz is looking pretty solid. I have a huge amount of respect and love for Tiafoe, but he's really choppy outside of the U.S. Open. So, if you're looking at that group of guys, I mean, the Sheltons of the world, I mean, I got to go with Tommy Paul.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Tommy Paul's the guy. He's 100-1 in his court to win it all, but in his quarter is very winnable. But we'll touch on that more specifically. I think we both are probably in agreement. Sinner comes out of this quarter. If not, honestly, I really do think it's Sinner or Draper. I don't really even want to overcomplicate it. I'd love to see Fige or Demon Hour be the dark horses to come out, but it's just those guys are playing at a different level right now.
Yeah, they're just unreal. I agree.
All right, let's head over to the Zverev side. And 3 seed, Djokovic is the 6th seed. Who are we thinking in here? You already know that my guy Dolo's in this draw, and and I actually think it's a very, very winnable draw. So actually, you know what? I'll start there. I think Cerundolo can certainly win this draw. I think Zverev has been hit or miss. He's got some mental things he's got to overcome. He lost to Mueller yesterday in 3 sets. He said he was sick, but like anyone else would have just played and just been like, oh, I was fine, right? He's like, I'm happy for myself that I played. No one else would have. Like, he's just so hateable sometimes, to be honest with you. But really outside of that, you have like a kind of broken Djokovic right now. He's playing well this week since like split with Andy Murray. Medvedev on clay, questions enough there. This might be Dolo's perfect draw to go in. And as a 100-1 player, he's honestly one of my favorite plays, or is probably my favorite play from the betting side. And I think that we got the draw we wanted.
Yeah, it's not a bad call. I mean, like, especially if he makes it to where he's playing Zverev. I mean, he has a 3-0 record head to head, I think, against.
Does he?
Against
Zverev. Oh wow,
yeah,
that's awesome.
It's kind of crazy. Yeah, so it's just like they make it to that round, and it's like you put him as the favorite for sure. Yeah, this is another area that's like I said, this top half of the draw is absolutely stacked. I mean, I have an eye on Caboli up there at the top as well. I mean, he's really fun to watch.
Coming into form.
Flair. Yeah, just playing super well. My guy, Felix Auger-Aliassime, is like
good week though.
Good week so far.
Starting to have I mean, he almost blew it today a couple times, but he's having a good week and he's coming off a lot of losses. So I mean, any wins look pretty good.
Absolutely. I mean, I know my friends give me a hard time for this, but like he's definitely the stock that I continue to hold on to. I'm not selling it. I think this guy is a future champion. Will he get out of this draw? I don't know for sure, but he's definitely one to keep an eye on. excited about the matchup of Wawrinka versus Fernley, which is kind of like a one you may not know if you're not a college tennis fan.
Yep.
But Fernley, former TCU Frog, is kind of cool to see up there. And Wawrinka, of course, great champion. But, I think at the end of his career, so that one could be an interesting, fun one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tricky. I don't know. I think can you ever count out the Joker, though? I mean,
yeah, that's honestly, I think I'm more scared of Novak than I am of Zverev. I will say, as we're talking about like some of our favorite matchups, I think you covered it pretty well. Arnaldi FAA is like a 5-setter written all over it, right? And I think Felix playing really well is going to be, really good. And Arnaldi, some big wins, but he's kind of hit or miss. He's better on clay. But yeah, it's probably my favorite match. And then I'd say, like I said, Cerundolo is my guy to come out of this quarter. I really honestly do think he's had the best year. And I think, again, 100-1 on a guy like that to win it all. And we're also talking and it's a good time to probably bring up, we're talking like best of 5 sets now. And Cerundolo is a guy that runs. This guy can go for 10 hours. So another thing to factor in when you're talking about being on clay, you're not being on clay anymore for 2-3 hour matches. This is 4 or 5 hour matches moving forward.
For sure. And one person we didn't mention, neither of us did, was Daniil Medvedev. How far do you think he's going to get this time?
His interviews go back and forth. A couple weeks ago, he said, it's clay, I hate it, whatever. And then I see a video today and he's fully grinding at practice. So it's I actually do see him improving. I see his game improving. Mm-hmm. In this quarter, I think he can make some moves. Getting past a Joker, getting to getting out of this quarter is even potentially in the cards. So I do like it. Who do you like to get out?
If I had to bet on this, I'm gonna have to go Djokovic. I mean,
I like it.
I think he seems to me. I mean, he obviously made this coaching change here with breaking up with Andy Murray. I think he understands he doesn't have a lot of time left, right? He's at that end here. I think he locks in and try to push forward.
Good stuff. Love it. And as mentioned a number of times, I'm on the Dolo train. We're going full steam ahead. And I do think I think it's an interesting tournament to fade Zverev. I just think meaning not early on, but if you get to a Felix Auger-Aliassime or a Caboli against Zverev in a 5-set match, do I think they're the equivalent players? No, but I think there's potential for some chaos. He just chokes pretty quickly here. So we'll head over to next part of the draw, and I'm looking at Musetti and Fritz. I know we're jumping around here a little bit, but this is pretty open part of the draw too. And I actually like Musetti a lot here. I think Fritz as the 4 seed is pretty, it's obviously because of the matches he won earlier in the year, because he looks nothing like it at this moment. But this is also a really favorable draw for Musetti, who's playing really, really well. What are you thinking here?
Yeah, this one is a little bit less stacked on this bottom half, so there's definitely opportunity for some players. Love seeing the Americans on here. Wish they weren't all lumped together in the same part of the draw, but obviously big Tiafoe fan. Love Sebi Korda, that he has a tough first round there against Dartery. I think that'll be interesting to see who gets out of that one. I mean, I think
your Atlanta boy Mickelson.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Alex. Yeah, he's a beast as well. So it's tough. I want to say I like Musetti first off. I think his game is so smooth. That one hand backhand is crazy. I think he plays with the good energy too. I have my eye though on Holger Rune.
Yeah, I was keeping
maybe a little bit. Yeah, he's a little bit understated. Obviously, he's had some ups and downs, but he's so young, super talented. I think if he gets things together on the mental side, he's definitely one to watch out of that area.
I hear you. Yeah, no, in this quarter, I really think you could go with a couple upset potentials that go deep. I think the odds will probably be Musetti, Fritz, Rune. But honestly, if Francis Tiafoe just got hot at the right time, right? And again, this is a fitness contest as much as it is like tennis. He's not a clay expert, but the guy is just fit, right? He'll go like toe to toe as long as he can. I think you might be able to get some value on somebody else winning the draw here. Yeah, and as I think about it, I think it's pretty straightforward. I think the best player in the most winnable draw is Musetti. And I'd agree. If I was looking in a different direction, Holger Rune coming off a clay tournament win, this year, again, his game kind of oscillates, but I would agree that he's probably the dark horse. The bottom half of this draw is just so winnable. You might get somebody very random, like a Dardiri or a Mehedovich. Like these are random guys who are just young, but they're also really good. Or Komasana, who chain smokes cigarettes while he's practicing.
Absolutely wild. Yeah, no, I actually like this bottom half for that reason. Like we get some really cool players that we don't hear a ton about. So yeah, I mean, if you're asking me who's coming out of this section, I really want to lean Musetti, but I think I'm going to go with Rune. I think like he's
like it.
This like breakout tournament. So like, yeah, this is his one.
This is an amazing comment. And I would say if he wasn't on like an 8-match losing streak, Baez like is obviously great on clay, but he's obviously lost like 8 matches in a row. So Nakashima, a little bit quiet there too. Like as we were talking about Americans that are in there, but he can also cause some trouble. All right. And then as we go to the last quarter, in advance of talking about our finals winners for the tournament, so we got Ruud as the 7 seed, Alcaraz and Ruud. This is kind of it could be kind of interesting here. You have Tommy Paul, Tsitsipas, Echevarri. This is an interesting one. What do you think about the quarter?
Yeah, these have actually a number of popcorn like first round matches in this section.
Nishikori Alcaraz could actually be awesome if he doesn't retire after one set.
I know. Okay, he's up and down there, but I mean, look at even like Tsitsipas, Echeverry. Like, I mean, Echeverry's playing
upset potential.
Yeah, I mean, he's in the semis right now of Hamburg. Obviously, Steph plays well on clay. Like that can go 4 or 5 sets easy. You see the Frenchman there, the big server. Card. You like that guy?
2 young guys. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, he'll have the crowd backing him
for sure. No, it's cool to see his seed too. I didn't realize his ranking got that high. That's impressive.
Yep.
I think Shelton Sonego will be an interesting one. Like I know, like I think Sonego's like maybe 39, 40 in the world, something like that. Obviously, Shelton's a seed here, but he's had kind of an okay like 2025. Like nothing there.
What happens when you get wifed up, man? You just can't focus on the tennis.
Clearly has some distractions.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah, with the Rodman, it just gets even weirder, I'm sure. But I agree. There's upset potential there. You know who's quietly pretty good and had it like, and he's always like that. Kashanov is like always like steady Eddie. He can probably upset a lot of people here. Offner's had a really good season, like, and he's playing really well. I think in Hamburg as well. So I think there's some interesting things here. Obviously, Casper Ruud's always in it. Like he's been to how many finals has he been to in Roland Garros? Like a handful, like 3 and lost them all. Obviously, it's like you're playing Nadal in those scenarios usually. But he won his first thousands tournament a couple weeks ago. So very, very live. Out of here, I think the obvious pick is probably the right one in Carlos, but have 100-1 ticket on Tommy Paul as well. Tommy Paul, looked really good last week. Honestly, thought he might, make some upsets happen. And, he's looked good through the clay season. He's also a Roland Garros juniors champion, which obviously it's not equivalently the same, but I mean, he can beat, and he's beaten like the Ruuds and he's beaten the Alcarazes too. Like he's not afraid into going toe to toe with anyone. Obviously it's, the stakes are raised on this one, but our guy, Tommy Paul.
For sure. A TP Ruud 4th round there. Chef's kiss.
Yeah, let's hope it gets there. I agree with you though. That's probably why it's where it's heading. And Tommy Paul will probably give us 3 matches ahead of that. That'll all be like overly dramatic that go to 5 sets for no reason. But I hear you. And so who you think comes out of it?
I mean, I look at Carlos and I think the guy is on an incredible clay court run. He's like the young Rafa right now. I mean, I can't go against that.
Yep. Gotcha. So we've gone through it. I think we went and said we probably both think Carlos, Tommy Paul in this one, probably both on Musetti, and then in the others we're talking about Cerundolo and we're talking about Djokovic, and then Sinner and I'm with you on Sinner or Draper. Who it's also amazing that Draper's good on clay now. Phenomenal that he's starting to move from surface to surface. Just says a lot about how elite he's getting. So who do you think's winning the whole thing, and who's your dark horse to win the whole thing on the men's side?
Yeah, I was looking at the quarterfinal projections and I was like, these are some really good matches. I don't know if Zverev has enough right now in terms of his form to go up against the Cerundolos of the world, the Djokovic of the world, and get to the final.
Yep.
I like Sinner, obviously seeing him go deep. I mean, he's playing super well, but he's had this long pause for a bit in my mind. I know I'm drawing this out. I'm trying to rationalize in my head.
No, I know you're going to convince yourself out of it.
It's like, do I really know? I feel like Carlos is an easy pick in some ways, but I think it's the one I'm going with. I mean, if you look at it on paper, you look at it in terms of his form recently. I mean, he's just playing unbelievably well. Obviously, if he faces Sinner in the final, he has a 6-4 edge head-to-head against him. I'm going Carlos.
Yeah, and I honestly, if I just picking without the betting factors, probably would be one of those two. And I will say probably would lean Sinner in the revenge match. I mean, he just looked so good in his first match back in Rome, and I think that has its own inherent pressure. Now you take him away from home, and I think he actually will play even better. And the Rome play is a little bit even a little bit slower. I think this pace keeps up more with Sinner's game than that slower Roman clay. And then dark horse again. It's Cerundolo, man. I really do think he has the goods. I think he's a really good draw. I think he has a really good number, and I think he can make that run. And if you really said who are the best 3 clay players in the world, you'd probably go Carlos, Sinner, and then probably Ruud and or Zverev. But the 4th or 5th guy would probably be Cerundolo. Toe-to-toe. I mean, Musetti's probably getting in there too, but it's he's really not that far out. Obviously, he's won a lot of it in South America, but it's crazy. To this question, and I'll answer real quick, and then you can answer. Who has the highest ceiling? I think it's Musetti, man. Honestly, he showed some I think what you're getting with Zverev and Ruud. I think they have a really high floor. I think that they're going to get you to the quarters or whatever usually. But who has a chance to really win besides them? I think Musetti, man. I think he has the goods a complete game. What about you?
That's tough. I mean, I'm assuming we're just talking about on clay, French Open versus just any surface.
Or just generally too, but
I mean, I like Musa. I like that. That's a good pick. I get a little nervous thinking about the one-handers. I'm just post
on other surfaces for sure.
It's just can they continue to dominate there? I feel there's a few players out there who are just about to kind of hit their stride. I got to go with Shelton. I think he is going to be a really
U.S.
really
Open Shelton is scary.
I mean, it is. He locks in. He loves the crowd. He loves the energy. He gets excited. He's had good results outside of the U.S. Open too. He's made semis of Australian Open. I think if he can put some things together, I don't know if clay is going to be his strongest surface per se. Yeah. Outside of that, I mean, that serve and forehand. I mean, not all players who like to go up against that.
It's built for the modern game, for sure. So, good stuff. All right, let's head to the WTA side. I think we have some ideas here. All right, this first quarter, Sabalenka, Zhang, Anisimova, Towson, Collins, who just got to skip her match with Kalinskaya today. Peyton Stearns, who's off an amazing run, obviously, who's on a heater. Hard to go against Sabalenka, obviously, here. But what are you feeling here?
Yeah, there's some good first round matchups in here too. It is cool to see Stearns in there as a seeded player. Obviously, she's been having
it's crazy.
Like, yeah, what a year! Like that's awesome for her and the team there. Obviously, I mean, Jing, she has a tough first round there. Pavlyuchenkova's she's she's been around for a while. Like she's been here since I think she was in a runner up in 21. So like she definitely knows clay, knows the surface. Like both big hitters. That'll be fun to watch. Obviously, Anisimova is playing really well too. Cool to see her 16th seed here too. I mean, it's kind of crazy. Is Collins? Is she retiring this year? Like, what's up with that?
I don't know, man. She'll retire, not retire. It's like Brett Favre. Like, I'm just letting her go. You know what I forgot was in this draw? Kvitova and Golubic. This is like a senior moment for these two. I hope she gets back to that level, but. Yeah, there are definitely some really interesting matchups. I think it's pretty. Zhang is like an Olympic winner, right? And they played on clay, so that's where. And she had a really good tournament. That was a really tough match against Coco last week. Like that one went, down to it. So I think she's shown she can really beat anyone. But I think because of who she has to play in advance, I think Sabalenka has a much easier part of the draw. Like Zhang would have to go through, as you mentioned, Pavlyuchenkova, Ayala, maybe Stearns. And you're talking about like Schneider, who I think is kind of my dark horse here. Schneider's actually been like really good on clay. The bandana, she rocks it. I think it's really interesting here. But I think my sense is Sabalenka comes out of here. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to go against her. I mean, the power and everything is just unreal. I mean, I do really like Jing's game. Like if she can win a couple of those matches early on pretty convincingly, get some confidence going. I mean, she can definitely give Sabalenka a run for her money if they make it to the quarters to face each other. But yeah, I think Sabalenka takes that 9 times out of 10. Yeah,
Sabalenka is basically like 2.5, 3 to 1, and she's actually the favorite. So Iga, before like this last string of weeks, was basically like 1 to 1 to win, like because she's won the last 3 years, and now she's 3.5 to 1 to win. Sabalenka is like plus 260, so basically 2.5 to 1 to win. Coco's 5.5 to win, which is the same as Mira Andreeva, which is about 5.5 to win, and then Paolini's 12 to 1 to win. So you actually could get a pretty good number on Zhang at like 20 to 1 if you think that she can come out and make it happen, which relative to some of those, like, is Zhang really like 4 times less likely than Mira Andreeva to get to the finals and win? Probably not. So I think you're getting some value on Zhang a little bit there, as well as some of the mid players, and we'll talk about those. But let's get to the guts of this tournament. The Paolini draw with Iga and by the way, we're going to give a shout out to Paolini for winning in Rome, both singles and doubles, cashing our 25 to 1 ticket for the group. Some of the guys had like 33 to 1. Honestly, our queen, she's done her work. We don't need anything else here. She can take a vacation. But this draw is insane, which sucks because I'm a big Svitolina fan, and I think that she's like has the game to do it. But you have Iga, Paolini, Svit, like we said, Ostapenko, Kostyuk, who's been dominating, Bencic and Rybakina first round, Vekic. This is like, I could honestly name like 6 dark horses here. What's your thoughts? Who do you like? What's your favorite matchup?
Yeah, all eyes definitely on the Rybakina Bencic matchup. I mean, that's kind of crazy. I mean, I know Bencic has the head-to-head lead over there, which is interesting. And
does she? Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and obviously Rybakina's had just some ups and downs in her career recently. So I feel like she's probably hungry, but I mean Bencic is looking really solid there. I think she might take that one, but definitely watching that. I feel like Iga. It's interesting. She obviously plays really well against the players that she should beat most often. Yeah, I think like some of the top players recently, they've rattled her. Right.
We're setting up for another Ostapenko Iga matchup, by the way. Although I think that Iga could lose to like a Kostyuk potentially in advance of that. Probably not, but like even like Raducanu is playing really well like the last week or so. So could be interesting. I mean, I don't think too much of her game completely, but there's a lot of chances for Iga to lose. Let's put it that way. But I agree with you.
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
she just has been losing some of the weirdest matches.
Yeah. No, I think she is shaking right now, seeing Ostapenko lurking in the
Dude, it's like it doesn't make sense. It's like one of those sports anomalies that, like, we were talking about, like golf this week, how like this certain player, Siwoo Kim, should be great on the scores, and he just like always sucks. And it's like Iga with Ostapenko. It's like, I don't know what it is. I don't know if she looks at you weird or whatever, but it's just like there's something odd here. But when you talk about this draw, I think my favorite and dark horse to come out of it, given where Iga's at, and given like Paolini, I think probably has a little weight off her shoulders. It's really hard to go back to back in tournaments. We're gonna go with Svitolina. She's 40-1 to win Roland Garros. I think we've talked about this. Like she's been to 4 quarters here at Roland Garros. She's playing the best tennis of her life right now. Like she just won a clay tournament about 2 weeks ago in a relatively mid draw, I would say, but still winning. She's gone to like semifinals and quarterfinals, lost to Sabalenka, and then lost last week. And then, given where she is like in personal life, she's married to Monfils, the French guy. So she'll have some fans by like association. They have a little one. She just seems like very relaxed in her approach. It's giving me a lot of the same like Madison Keys Australian Open vibes, like just in a really good place. Her game's peaking at the right time. I think Svitolina comes out of this, and I think that she can make a run, towards the finals too. But I think I would say she's my quasi dark horse and my favorite in this one. If I'm picking anyone else to come out of it, even deeper, I think Kostyuk has played really good tennis on clay, and her game for somebody young, I think she's like 22, 23, is starting to translate off hard courts to clay as well, which, that's really telling of like the best players, right? Is when your game can go from like surface to surface. So I like what I'm seeing. What about you? Who do you think comes out? Any dark horses?
Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like in this area, this section here, you're going to like this one. I think Donna Vekic.
Yes. She's like 200-1 to win the tournament, which I don't know if she can win the tournament, but maybe she can make a run.
I mean, I think she can make a run in this section. I mean, obviously getting past Svitolina, that'll be a tough one, a tough ask there, but like she gets up for these majors. I mean, I know
she does. She's a big game hunter.
Yeah, she gets excited by it, the energy. I think she's been around for a bit. She knows how to go up in these matches. Like she's one to watch in that section too. I mean, I think, like I said, she gets past Svitolina, like there's potential there for her to go deep. So I definitely like her. I think if I had to look outside of Vekic, it'd probably be more toward the bottom, like Ostapenko. I think.
So you don't think Iga comes out?
I don't think Iga comes out of this section. No, I think she's had a tough last 50 weeks or so. I think it's going to continue.
Ostapenko is a good call. She said something along the lines of like, they're saying, they're asking her questions. The media was asking her questions, and she said something along the lines of like, well, I'm good on clay too. I've won this tournament. It's like,
exactly.
She's like, I'm underrated. So, you can't blame her for her confidence. Obviously she has won like forever ago, but I think she won in Stuttgart too, right? Because I saw her driving around that Porsche. So she's won a clay tournament recently. So I like it. So 2 potential dark horses. You don't think Paolini comes out as well?
I feel like she's playing really well. I think she does a good job. I think she's won a lot recently. I don't know if Roland Garros is going to go as deep this time. I don't see it.
Alrighty. Well, we got our sense there. Let's go over to the Andreeva quarter. So Andreeva being the 6, Pegula being the 3. Kind of going across the board. Naomi Osaka and Badosa round 1. Crazy. Mukova back after withdrawing ahead of Rome with a wrist injury. She withdrew the tournament ahead, I think, with like, sickness, like stomach sickness. You have Owens in this here, and obviously she knows how to play on clay, but she's coming back from a knee injury. Dasha Kasatkina can obviously, she can play well against big names. What are you thinking? Who's to look out for?
I mean, obviously we got that Osaka Badosa match circle.
Oh my gosh, it's going to be such a banger.
That's going to be crazy. It's also their first ever meeting too, which is wild. But,
it's like the biggest mental health battle matchup ever. These two are both going to have their therapist court side. It's going to be insane.
Yes, but like I mean the tennis, I mean the ball's gonna be flying like 100 miles an hour on both sides. I mean they both crush it.
There's gonna be a lot of cracked rackets.
Yes, yes. I mean they're hungry though. I mean so that's gonna be
Yep.
a battle. I'm pumped to watch that one first round for sure. I think I like looking here at Andreeva. I mean she's obviously playing super well. She's like this young phenom, which is kind of cool. I feel like you were hyping her up before she even got like this like notoriety. Like you saw it. But I think she has a nice little section there where she can make a decent run, which will be interesting.
Yeah.
Mukova Parks will be a good first round. I think Parks is a little bit up and down in terms of her results, but she has big game. I know Mukova is pretty solid, so that may not be the matchup that she'll win, but that'll be a fun one to watch for sure.
Yeah, I think it could go a lot of ways, which I mean, you basically have alluded to. I don't think it's just Pegula's year. She won in Charleston. She's looked really bad the balance of tournaments, and her social media, because we got to keep an eye on these things. She lost her dog, which like is she's like a big dog person. Lost her lab, I guess, prematurely. So it's from that standpoint, I think she's going to be out early. And so, I think this draw, I think Andreeva has a really winnable draw. There are some people like Osaka, Badosa, Mukova who could come out and punch. Even Sakari, like if they really make a really good run, they could get hot. But I really think it's Andreeva's to lose. I would say my dark horse, because she's always a dark horse, and she's now like, and this is why the book's like she should be probably 100-1 to win, but she's probably like 40-60 because she does so well on clay. I think Owens is always there, man. On clay, she's a magician, and she's been unhealthy, but it's like she's still the minister of happiness, and she still has a smile on her face. So I think Owens, and maybe even Mukova, like I like her draw a lot. I think it's really favorable for somebody that's like coming back from injury and stuff. Like, I don't think she needs to figure out her game for 3 rounds, really. Like Parks would be challenging, but then Sakari, Giacomo, like whoever comes out of the Mertens piece of it too. I think Mukova will have some time to figure out it. So I'll say Andreeva probably to come out, and maybe Owens or Mukova, dark horses to come out.
I like that. Yeah, I mean, Gerard obviously is super solid, super crafty, like just really fun to watch. I guess some good game, but I agree. I think JPEG is what I call her. I don't think she's coming out of the section either. I think Andreeva looks really good. I have my eye on that Osaka Badosa match. You can tell me who you think is going to win that one, but
I think it's Osaka's. No, Osaka played really, really well last week. I mean, but she also like it's how she'll win it or lose it on her racket. Like I don't think Badosa can be here, and I don't think she can be here right now. Badosa lost today in a match where she should have won in 3, but she's just not. That was her second match back. Her first match back. Opponent withdrew, Buskova withdrew, and then today she lost in 3. So I don't know if Badosa's fully back, even though she says she's pain free. So I like Osaka, and I mean if Osaka keeps getting hot, like she has a good slate of 3 or 4 matches that could just help build her confidence in advance of like an Osaka Andreeva, which would just be a banger of a match.
For sure. Yeah, I think I think Osaka is definitely probably my dark horse pick in that group. I mean, like you said too. I mean, she's playing super solid. Has a lot to like about her game. If she's locked in and ready to go, I mean, no one's beating her. So I like her coming through that. But I think the favorite probably in that section for me is Karolina Mukova. I think she's playing super well right now. She's 12-7 this year. I mean, obviously right outside the top 10. She has game. Obviously, she's gone deep in this.
She's amazing on clay.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Outside, well, pre-injury, she was playing really well, and I'm thinking that she can make a run. It's a lot similar to like the Osaka thing. I think she'll need a couple matches to get more and more confident, but if she gets there, she can beat anybody.
For sure.
All right, last quarter. So Keys as the 7, Gauff as the 2. This is some interesting stuff, and we're definitely going to have a discussion here. There's also Krejcikova, who's a former winner. She looked very bad in her match. In her first match back, which was to be expected. Haddad Maya somehow has had a resurgence the last week, which is so infuriating. She beat our girl Emma Navarro today. But all that to say, it's Emma Navarro is also in this draw, which, keeps it exciting. I feel like her results have been, have been altered just due to her like third set playing with her food. Kenin has also looked pretty good. So how do you feel about this draw? What matches are you excited about? Who do you think is going to come out?
Yeah, I mean, this is also a little like pretty interesting section here. I mean, you got some big names in there. You got a couple of folks, if you don't know the names, you're like, wait a minute, like, is this person really unseeded in this draw? I mean, obviously top of the house there, Azarenka and Wickmeyer. I mean, that's a battle of some veterans too that have been around. I mean, Vika's
the one match I will not watch.
Really? Vika's fun to watch. I mean, I don't know if she has
got some attitude.
Yeah, I don't know if she has the sting that she used to have there, but you're always shouting out the veterans there. Yeah, I love the Haddad Maya and Baptiste match. I mean, like Haley Baptiste is really, really good young American player. Like I like that matchup for her potentially.
Yeah, me too.
On the upset.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously, I know we got to keep an eye out on Emma Navarro. She has a little good section there. That
she has a pocket.
Yeah. I think that's winnable for her. Obviously, for me, favorite in this section here is Coco. I think she's playing super well right now. I don't see a ton of obstacles in her little area down there. Obviously, she has the younger Andreeva.
Yeah, she's so bad. Alexandrova, I think, is a little bit interesting if Alexandrova gets to that piece of it. I think that would be an interesting matchup. She's pretty good on clay, and she's able to beat players like Sabalenka. So I mean, I'm not sure her head to head, honestly, with Coco. I'm not even sure if they played, but that could be one to keep an eye on. Kalinskaya. Also, just like big game hitter, she just beat Pegula in a comeback where she was down like the set and like break, and she came back and won. But yeah, I agree with you. I think the favorite here is pretty obvious. I bet this morning on Madison Keys at 50-1 to win. I think she just, like I said, she's playing free. What I said earlier was that Coco's at like 5.5-1. So like just less value because obviously, Coco's just been on a heater, like 2 finals in a row. So she's lost 2 finals. She's probably motivated as hell and probably ready to win her second slam. So I could definitely see that coming, but I'm gonna go with Madison Keys to come out of this quarter just to be different. And my dark horse, oh man, so there's a couple because obviously I have a Navarro. Like I like Kenin, but I'll go with Alexandrova to come out of here too. I think she has a game that translates surfaces. The first serve needs to follow, but I think she could be interesting. If it's not Coco, who are you keeping an eye on?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you're thinking with your heart with Keys pulling out there. But
I know she's just treated us well.
But I think I have an eye on Krejcikova. I mean, she's someone who also plays really well on clay. Like, love the hands. I mean, she's a big doubles player. I think for her,
she won Paris doubles and singles together.
Yeah. I mean, she's consistent. So I mean, she's someone who could probably give Coco some trouble in that little section.
Yep, 100%. So when we get down to it, I think you think Coco, I think Keys. We talked about pretty agreeable on Sabalenka, maybe Zhang. Andreeva seems to be the right player there. And then we talked about some upsets coming out of the Iga one. Svitolina, Rybakina, Vekic. There's a lot of different ways it could go. Who's your winner? Who's your winner on the women's side? And who's the dark horse?
You know what? I'm going all in. I'm going to say Coco Gauff is winning.
Coco Gauff at 550 to win. I actually like it. I think it is a pretty good value, and she's really trending. I think you're still getting a good deal on her. Even if it inevitably leads to Sabalenka, that would just be a clash. I think that's what people are feeling, but I like it. And if it's not Coco, who's the dark horse? Mukova?
That's a tough one. I feel like Mukova has the game to do it for sure. She's been there before. It's tough. Yeah, I mean, I don't. She's probably the best one of those options. I'm obviously in the top half, just keeping my eye on a couple of folks like the. Scrolling through again, to your point, like the Svitolinas and Vekic of the world, but Yeah, I'd say Makova if Gauff can do the job this time.
All right. I think my winner, and it's coming out of the toughest, quarter, is Svitolina. I think she'll have to get past the best to really get there, which is like, Paolini, Rybakina, Iga, Ostapenko. It's like you're definitely gonna have to beat some players. Vekic. I'm gonna take Svitolina to win at 40-1. If I go longer than that, the other player I liked in there who's playing really well, who I think is gonna make a run, is Kostyuk, and she's at like 80-1 right now, 70 some places. I think those are kind of the long shots I have. But any other overarching thoughts as the tournament? I'm pumped. Sunday, it's like I was already seeing like the matchup slate. It's absolutely insane. We got Osaka, Badosa. It's gonna be nuts. Get ready to have your sleep schedule all effed up. It's gonna be
for sure.
amazing.
Early morning wake ups here. No, I'm pumped for it too. I mean, I love that they start on Sundays now too, like give a little extra breathing room for the inevitable rain delays and issues that they'll have as running a tournament. But I mean, right now it's pretty stacked on both sides. I mean, there's a lot of good storylines to follow, I think, on both the men's and the women's tour. So I'm ready for it. Amazing.
Well, appreciate the time, my guy. Thanks for joining me. This is fun. Hopefully we get to do it again for Wimbledon and the US Open. As a reminder for those that are on here, join ISN, just get some tennis context and golf, as well. We do Garros month for 25% off for this month. Garros week for 25% off for this week. Reminder, if you join for the month, you'll get US Open context. But come get all the betting content, DFS content, and join the best community of sports there is. But Gerard, appreciate it, my guy. This was fun.
For sure. Same. Had a blast.
All right, guys, take it easy.